Level 0. It doesn't begin with heat, it begins with absence. The rain that should have come last week doesn't. The air isn't hot, the soil isn't cracked, but something's missing, and the land knows it before we do. A farmer checks their irrigation chart and frowns. The soil moisture sensor dips just below average, not dry, just off. The trees don't rustle as much, the grass recovers slower after footsteps. The sky, though blue, has that slightly baked tint. This is level 0, abnormally dry, not a drought, but a precursor. It's when weather patterns flirt with dryness. It's the spark before the tinder forms. In some regions, level 0 arrives like a polite knock. In others, it's the calm before the long wait. Statistically, it might go away next week. The rain might return. But if it doesn't, you're no longer talking about a delay. You're talking about descent. Level 1. The first cracks appear, not in the earth, but in the routine. Your local water utility issues a soft warning. Nothing drastic, just a suggestion. Avoid watering lawns during peak sunlight. The grass is brittle. The creeks are lower than normal. A few towns implement early restrictions. Rural communities notice wells refilling slower. Welcome to Level 1, Moderate Drought. The shift is visible now, not dramatic, but familiar to anyone who lives close to land. Crops still grow, but yields start to dip. Some farmers irrigate earlier than usual. In wildfire-prone areas, brush begins drying faster than normal. Insurance companies take notice. So do risk analysts. Water pressure drops in old neighborhoods. Lawn care companies cancel weekly visits. Golf courses brown around the edges. It's livable. But this is the stage where systems begin bracing, when drought plans leave the binder and land on someone's desk. Left unchecked, Level 1 rarely stays Level 1 for long. It either reverses or deepens. Level 2. Now it stops being invisible. This is the first time people start using the word drought out loud, not as a warning, but as a reality. This is Level 2. Severe drought, and it means more than cracked fields. It means stress, biological, economic, infrastructural. Ranchers start trucking in hay because pastures no longer feed livestock. Agricultural yields fall noticeably. Corn ears grow stunted. Wheat fields go prematurely gold. Irrigation becomes a balancing act between what's needed and what's allowed. Small streams vanish. Ponds become muddy bowls. Municipalities limit outdoor water use. Farmers file insurance claims. If you're rural, your well might go dry. If you're urban, your water bill suddenly climbs. And fire? It's not just a summer issue anymore. In Level 2 droughts, entire regions burn not from lightning, but from sun and stress. Mulching gardens and using drip irrigation instead of sprinklers can reduce water use by up to 60% and keep plants alive longer when restrictions hit. Level 3. Now the ground fights back. Trees drop leaves mid-season to save themselves. Fields are stripped, not harvested. This is Level 3, extreme drought, where damage isn't just visible, it's operational. Farmers plow under entire fields, not to harvest, but to kill failing crops and save the soil. Livestock herds are culled. The cost of feed exceeds the value of keeping animals alive. Reservoirs drop so low that boat docks sit in mud. Wildlife crowds dwindling waterholes. Birds migrate early, or not at all. Fisheries collapse as oxygen levels plummet. In some US states, water rights lawsuits erupt. Downstream users accuse upstream districts of hoarding. It's not just water scarcity, it's water politics. The ground itself begins to subside, literally sink, in areas where deep aquifers are being overpumped. In parts of California's Central Valley, the land has dropped over 30 feet since the 1920s due to groundwater depletion. Emergency water deliveries begin, but not for comfort, for survival. At this level, avoid watering anything that isn't food. Switch to biodegradable soaps and low-flow fixtures. Wastewater is now a resource. Level 4. The word exceptional shouldn't mean this. This is Level 4, exceptional drought, the highest level on official drought indices. It is where agriculture stops planning and starts bleeding. Fields are left fallow, crops are abandoned, water for irrigation is simply not available. City planners enforce rolling water blackouts. Power plants reduce output because the cooling water is too hot or too scarce. Dust storms return to the Midwest, not like the 1930s Dust Bowl, but closer than anyone wants to admit. And in towns that depend on rivers, the taps run dry. You walk into grocery stores and find bottled water aisles empty. In 2018, Cape Town counted down the days to day 0, the day municipal water would shut off. They barely avoided it. In other places, that day has already come. the risk of permanent land degradation or desertification spikes. Even national governments request international aid, and the atmosphere becomes crueler. Dry soil radiates heat back upward, making heat waves hotter, longer, deadlier. It's not just drought. It's a climate feedback loop with no easy off switch. Retrofit your home with low flush toilets and faucet aerators before restrictions get extreme. The cost is low, the savings in a crisis are massive. Level 5. There's no map for this, because the lines have moved. This is Level 5, Drought Emergency. Not officially standardized, but used in national disaster frameworks when Level 4 isn't enough. This is when the infrastructure fails, and so does public trust. Entire towns run dry. Water trucks arrive like aid convoys. People line up with buckets, ration cards, and hope. Hospitals triage by water access, rural clinics shut down. Industry halts because cooling, cleaning, mixing, and producing require water. In parts of Madagascar and Somalia, people have dug 5 times deeper for water than just 10 years ago and still come up dry. Hunger follows, then migration. Governments declare states of emergency. Military or UN agencies are called to assist. It's not just about thirst, it's about system failure of food, energy, commerce, and basic governance. And for many regions facing long-term shifts in rainfall, this stage isn't temporary, it's becoming seasonal. If you rely on municipal water, invest in a potable-grade water tank and filter system. When trucks stop, you'll have hours of resilience others won't. Level 6. It's not just the rivers that recede now, it's the people. This is when drought displaces. Rural families move into urban slums. Crops die in the field, not from neglect, but from thirst. The air smells like dust and dry leaves. Cracks form in the ground like veins. In some places, this stage has a name, severe drought. But the damage? It's more than severe, it's strategic. Livestock don't just suffer, they vanish. Either sold early or starved late. Feed prices spike. Farmers ration water by field, by row, by hope. And the water that is available, it isn't always clean. Wells run low and draw deeper, into older, less filtered aquifers. Hydropower starts to fail. In places like Brazil and California, this has already happened. When reservoirs like Lake Mead drop past their dead pool levels, turbines fall silent, electricity prices soar. And now it's not just food and water, it's power, productivity, and national stability. In 2022, Somalia declared a national emergency, not for war, but for water. The 5th consecutive failed rainy season led to over 1 million people displaced and a looming famine. This isn't just about brown grass. It's about broken systems, because drought by now isn't just weather, it's pressure, and it squeezes from every direction. Install dual-flush toilets and low-flow showerheads. During Level 6, cities may start rationing water by household quota, and conservation buys time.